Hey, it's Sherisse Marie, and you're on my YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe below. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about letting go. I want to talk about why it's important from a physical perspective, as well as a mental and emotional perspective, and a spiritual perspective. Because when we are hanging on to things, when we're hanging on to especially emotional hurts and emotional woundings, we are actually causing physical harm, we are causing mental harm, we're causing spiritual harm, we're causing emotional harm to our bodies. When we're hanging on to that stuff, we hold ourselves so tightly that we get that hum in our ears. We're holding ourselves so tightly that the massage therapist touches your back and goes, "Dear Lord, what are you doing to yourself?" We hold ourselves so tightly that we end up screwing up our digestive system because we're not relaxed and released and just thrilled with our lives. And the more that we do that, the more we keep ourselves in that state of really heightened responses, of really tense and tight. We're building up lactic acids, we're building up all of the negative physiological symptoms, and we can create illnesses in ourselves by doing this. We can create autoimmune diseases, we can create cancers, we can create heart disease. We can create all of the digestive tract issues, everything from IBS to Crohn's to colitis to dear Lord, I've lost the words, acid reflux, to all of them. We create problems with our joints because our muscles are so tight that our joints don't work properly. We're pulling ourselves out of balance so that our joints don't work properly, so our knees don't work. We think we have arthritis in our knees, our hips don't work, our ankles don't work, our back doesn't work. This is a huge, huge issue. If you're doing this, you need to find ways to let go. You need to find ways to release this. And those are just the physical symptoms, ladies. I didn't even talk about the mental, the emotional, the spiritual symptoms, but they're just as evil. But the ones that we really don't put together with hanging on to our crap are the physical ones. So as you start to go through this process, it's important to recognize that the pieces of you that you held onto really tightly for a very long time, as you release them, you need to give them space to do their thing and to go back to where they were previously. Because if you don't, you're going to end up kind of stressing out about it. You're going to end up finding that the things that you were really hoping were just temporary became permanent. And we don't want to do that. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to really start this process. Okay. The first one is journaling. Journaling is a powerful way to question the things that you think you remember about your past. It's a good way to process all of the emotions that are coming up and the memories that are coming up for you. And it's also just a really good way to make a record of that for yourself so that you can see how far you've come over the period of time. So journaling, number 1, amazing way to really dial in to who you are at the moment. Journaling also helps you become more emotionally aware. If you're journaling and you include, these are the emotions that came up for me, you're going to find that as you do that, you discover more and more and more emotions in each layer. Number 2 is doing not a long period of time because you're still in your trauma thing, but like 30 seconds or a minute of meditation. And when you're really hurting like this, I don't recommend that it just be sitting in silence, staring at a flame or staring at the wall. Don't do that, because that is going to guarantee that you're going to go off on a tangent that you don't necessarily want to go off. It can be very hurtful. So I would rather you do a meditation where you are doing an activity while you are meditating. So for example, in the shower, showering is a great place to be able to meditate because it's repetitive actions that you know how to do. You do them all the time. The only thing you have to be careful of is that you don't slip, right? But aside from that, you can kind of put your brain on autopilot and just do the things as you're thinking about whatever. Now, here's the secret about meditation. We are all told that meditation is the act of clearing your mind, of thinking no thoughts, of not having anything in your mind except for your breath, but that's not true. Meditation is the ability to go deeper into your thoughts and really explore what they actually mean for you. Now, if it's a thought that you're not particularly happy to be having and you're not ready to have it in that moment, thank that thought and let it go and move to the next thing, okay? It can be very powerful to meditate. It can be very hurtful if you're not doing it right. If you're beating yourself up because you're not able to get to a Zen empty mind where the only thing you're thinking of is your breath, just remember that there's a lot of baggage you've got to get through, a lot of clearing that has to happen before you can get to that point. And that's okay. That's okay. So doing that really, really helps. The third thing for really letting go, clearing out the disappointment, and just releasing everything that needs to be released is find a really good tool for doing so. I have a fantastic one over on my website, but if you don't, then look for one, because we can do this on our own. I did most of my work on my own, but it took me 15 years. And you don't want to spend that much time. You don't want to waste that many years of your life struggling to do this on your own. Once I found the tools, my life became a lot easier. Things became a lot simpler. But finding the tools was sometimes a little tricky. So I'm going to drop the link for the Clearing Disappointment. It's a guided meditation and workbook below, but I'm also just going to encourage you to find a way to absolutely release and let go, and then just let it slowly integrate back into who you are. Don't expect it to be instant. Don't expect it to be this magical thing where you're going to feel 1,000 times better. Know that there's going to be a reintegration process as you release this stuff. Okay? That's all I got for you ladies today. So have a fantastic day and we'll talk soon. Bye.